and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Dee, and today is going to be the first story time that I'm going to be doing in a series of story time about my dating experience. I decided to make it like a little segment on my channel. We're gonna be doing this until I find a man. I'm just gonna just go through like all the wild and crazy dates. Oh, and sometimes the good dates that I've been on, while using the apps and stuff. So yeah. I decided to change it up a bit today. To be honest, it's because my edges. Guys, I'm stressed out about my edges, but by God's grace, we're gonna get through. Yeah? By God's grace. But anyway, get a cup of coffee or something and sit down, get a glass of wine, because you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm drinking wine. Yeah? So get a glass of wine and sit with me while I tell you about my first dating experience while I was in Canada and my first time ever using the Bumble app. Okay? Right. So, when I was in Canada, obviously I knew nobody. I moved there by myself. I had no family over there, no friends over there. I just picked a country and said, boom, this is where I'm going. So moved over there and everything. And yeah, you do get a bit lonely and stuff like that. So I decided that I would download Bumble. So I was going to download Tinder at first. I mean, because I actually ended up downloading Tinder, but I was going to download Tinder at first. But I know that, well, not know, but I've heard that Tinder is notorious for just hookups and just having sex and stuff. And I wasn't even on that at that time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I downloaded Bumble. And to be fair, I downloaded Bumble initially to find a friend because Bumble has that like setting of Bumble BFF where you find friends. And I actually met some really nice, lovely ladies on Bumble BFF. But anyway, I switched it over to the dating side and I said, you know what, like, why not? Like, I want a little boo thing or whatever, right? So anyway, I switched it over and then I matched up with a couple of guys and I was talking to a couple of guys. But then this one guy stood out. So I was just like, okay. So he asked me for my number and everything, and I said cool, and I gave him my phone number. So now we're talking on the phone, and I'm telling you guys, the convo is flowing. The convo is flowing and everything. And I think we were talking for about a week and a half kind of thing. So I'm like, oh my God, like this guy is like really nice. Like, how good would it be that I actually like meet a guy that can like, and it pans out to be something. I see, like, after my first kind of match up in it. So I was just like, oh my day, okay, you know what, don't jinx it. So I said, okay, cool. So I was talking to him, and then he was like, oh yeah, can I call you? And I was just like, yeah. So we called each other, and he had like, okay, maybe, I know it's not just me, yeah, but like he had a nice, deepish kind of voice. I was like, okay, don't worry me. So I was like really excited about it. So anyway, so I was talking to him on the phone, and we would be on the phone for hours, like literally. We would be talking on the phone, and maybe like for like the 3 times that we've actually like spoken on the phone verbally, 3 hours minimum. Like we would just be chatting away, and the conversation wasn't forced and anything. So I thought this guy was like really nice and everything. Yeah, he did tell me that he had a kid, but I was just like, you know what? I'm at the age right now where everybody and their mom gonna be having kids in it. Like, I'm older now, so it's gonna have to happen at some point. Anyway, so that didn't bother me. And then he was like, after about, so this is probably the 2-week mark now, he's like to me, can I ask you out on a date? Like, do you want to go out with me? And I'm just like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go out with you. Like, I don't mind or whatever. So he was just like, yeah, I'll come round to your house and pick you up. Now, hold up. I was just like, no, you're not going to pick me up at my house. We're going to meet at a mutual place. Not because of anything other than the simple fact that I'm a woman. I don't know this man from nowhere. I'm not letting him come to my house to come pick me up. So you know where I live. What if he turns out to be the next Paul Bernardo? Like, no. So I said, I'm going to meet you at like at a mutual place. And then you can scoop me up from there or whatever. And then depending on how, and this was what I was saying to myself, because obviously I didn't tell him, but I was like, you know, depending on how the date goes, if it goes kind of all right, you might can drop me closer to my house. Do you know what I'm saying? Or maybe even to my house, depends on how I feel. Anyway, so the lady I was staying with, because I was renting a room, the lady I was staying with, she was like to me, oh yeah, I'll drop you to the gas station. Is it the gas station or a convenience store? I think it was a convenience store. parking lot or wherever it was. She was like, I'll drop you there. So I was like, cool. Now, obviously, I just moved to Canada and I didn't take like all my stuff in it. So I didn't have any kind of stuff for like going out. So I had to go to the shopping center and I bought like a nice little... Oh, if you watched my previous video, you know that black jumpsuit? That's what I wore on the date, yeah? Right, so I wore that and everything. And I had a fresh trim and everything. My makeup was like on point and stuff. So I was like I knew I looked good in it. Like, you couldn't tell me, innit? So I said, cool. Anyway, so then now we pulled up to the place and then I'm sitting in the car and I'm just like, oh my God, where am I going? Where am I actually going? Like, why am I going anywhere to meet this guy? Because I'm thinking, you literally know nobody here. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So what I normally do, actually, to be fair, when I'm going out on dates, I send at least 5 people my location. Now, it wouldn't have helped entirely because, again, like I said, I was in the country and I didn't know anybody, and I don't think at that point I had a job yet, so I didn't even make any friends yet. I sent my location to people in England and people in America. Like, my auntie and my cousin, they're the closest people to me, as in proximity-wise. They live in Atlanta, in Georgia. So I was just like, boom, 2-hour flight. Like, it's better than the 8 hours for England, innit? So I'm just going to send it to them. So I sent them my live location, and not just simple location. So ladies, when you're about to go on a date, I think that should be a rule of thumb. If you don't even do that, I'm telling you now that you should do that. When you're going out on a date or you're going out with somebody new and you don't know if they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, you need to send trusted people your live location. On WhatsApp, it does it for 8 hours at a time. Like, the maximum you can do for 8 hours. Do it for 8 hours, and then like halfway through my excursion or whatever, I stop it and restart it again, so it starts up another 8 hours. Like, every time I remember, I keep restarting it so it can like extend for... I got this. I'm really not trying to be killed for dick. Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I decided to send them my location. So I sent it to my cousin, sent it to my auntie, sent it to my sister in London, sent it to my best friend in London, sent it to my other friend. Like, I sent it to loads of people. So if anything happens, they knew the last place I was at was wherever it was that we was at. Anyway, back to the date. So I got to the car park now, and me and the lady were sitting in the car, and she's like, oh my God, who is he? Like, what does he drive? And I'm like, girl, I don't know. Like, I didn't know what he drove or anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so then he called me. He's just like, oh, I'm here. Where are you? And I was just like, oh, I'm here. And then he's just like, oh, I don't see you. And I was like, okay, can you get out of the car so I can see you? So both of us, like, I'm looking in the wing mirror, she's looking in the rearview mirror, like, we're probably like, oh, who's getting out of the car? Who's getting out of the car? And then we saw this guy get, and he was quite tall. I was just like, okay. And he actually looked like his picture. I was quite nervous about being catfished and stuff like that. And then on the other hand, I was nervous about, I'm not even gonna lie to you, like, other girls might lie and whatever, but when I'm not made up, I feel as though that I don't look the way that I look, but everybody tells me that I do, but whatever in it. I was afraid that he would probably think like, nah, this chick is catfishing me, but whatever. Anyway, so got out of the car and everything, and I was thinking, shit. So anyway, now I got out the car, and he was already out or whatever, and he opened the door, and as I was walking up, he was just like, oh wow. And I was just like, in my head, I'm like, I know, did you not think I looked at the mirror before I came out? Like, I know. Anyway. But anyway, so I was just like, oh, thank you. So I walked up to him, and then he gave me a hug, and then he was like, oh, in the crook of my neck and stuff. Because you know when you're shorter, right? And then you hug somebody and you kind of stretch up to hug them, like, and then they're just like all in. Anyway, so that's what it was. And then he was like hugging me and stuff, and then he was like, oh my God, you smell good. And I was just like, yeah, you smell good too. I was like, thank you, or whatever. And I got into the car. So we're driving to the place. Where did he take me? He took me to... what's the name of that place? Jack Astor's. That's it. He took me to Jack Astor's, which I guess is like the equivalent to like TGI Fridays or something in Canada or where. I don't know. I'm not one of those chicks that's like, oh no, you have to take me to Nobu, or you have to... Me, I don't have Nobu money, so I don't expect you to take me to Nobu. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you do, it would be nice. But I'm not expecting you to take me there. So anyway, so he was like, you know, yeah, we're going to Jack Astor's and stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we went there. Now, the actual date. So we got to the place and we walked inside and everything, and we were seated and whatever it is. And we got to talking. So we was, general chit chat, like, talk about your job, how was your day, blah, blah, blah. Like, so I'm asking, like, I'm like, how's the relationship with you and your baby mom? Like, because I'm not coming to Canada to fight nobody. You get me? Like, I don't fight for man that I don't know like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Not to say that I fight for man anyway, but you get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so now we're talking and everything, and he keeps like asking me questions about London. He's just like, yeah, I really want to go and blah blah. And he worked for the it's TFL over here, but what's it called in Canada? The Canadian thing in it, train line, whatever. The metro people, them, the train people, them. He works for them in it. So I was just like, okay, cool. So he was like telling me little code, like things like if you hear it on the train, what it means. And I'm like, okay, all right, I know what it means. Blah, blah. So we're just having a good old time. I ordered food. Can I just say, yeah, I looked good as well. Can I just go back to the fact that I looked good, right? So I looked good as hell, yeah, because you know what I did? Ladies, and don't tell me that I'm the only one. But when I know that I'm going out with somebody, I don't eat properly throughout the day because I need my belly to look, you know what I'm saying? I need my belly to look sucked in, right? And I knew I was going to look, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really eat that much or whatever, but I was just like, okay, cool, on the day. And I don't know who I thought I was, but I ordered a salad. But it was a big ass salad though. It was a big thing, like, mad, like, huge. Yeah, so I ordered like this huge salad and it had like, and it was really nice actually. Like, it was actually really, really nice. Anyway, so all this time, and we're talking, and I thought we were having a gay old time. Anyway, now, so, what's it called? I used to be, and I say used to be because there's probably a video floating around somewhere of me saying that I think on the first date, the bill should be split in half. I used to be of that perception, and I'm not now saying that I am fully on the perception of the woman should not pay for the first date. I'm just of the belief of if you want to pay for half, you can, but it doesn't take away anything from the date. It doesn't say that the date went like horribly wrong, like, do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so ending of the date now, and then the waitress comes up and she's like, oh, do you guys want the bill or whatever it is? And he's just like, yeah. So she walks off to go get it. So I was just like, oh, okay. I was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to split it in half or do you want to pay for the whole thing? I was genuinely asking because I'm genuinely asking, do you want to split it? Because I don't know people's pocket. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm like, do you want to split it or do you want to go, like, pay for the whole thing? And he just like, oh, what do you want? I was just like, oh, I can split it. I don't care. Now, apparently, this is a universal thing. If you suggest or if you say, like, oh yeah, I'm willing to split a bill, that means that you didn't enjoy yourself. I didn't know that. Else I wouldn't have suggested it. I did not know that. So, me asking, I was genuinely being like friendly because, like I said, I don't know his pocket. He may have been like, you know, thinking, shit, like all of this is too much and I'm scraping for coins and stuff like that. Like, I didn't want that to be the situation. I wanted to show that I'm thoughtful and, like, do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so when the lady came back, she was just like, oh, how would you guys like to pay? And then he looked at me again, and then I was just like, why are you looking at me? Do you want me to say? And I was just like, oh yeah, we'll split it. And I remember the waitress was just like, oh. And I was just like, okay. So she was like, okay, cool. So then split it now. And then I paid with my card, my half of my card. And then he paid his half with his card. And then we walked out. And I was just like, okay, cool. So now we walked out now and we're still talking. So we're driving now. And we wasn't too far from my house. So, and then I decided, like, you know, he didn't seem like a serial killer. He didn't seem like he was going to be a weirdo or anything and try to follow me inside my building. So I said, yeah, he can drop me home. So he dropped me in front of my building, like, down by the lobby. And then, yeah, he was just like, oh, yeah, I had, like, a really good time. And I was like, yeah, so did I or whatever. Now, can I just say, I'm not opposed to kissing on the first date. You know, you could kiss on the first date. Hell, you can even have sex on the first date. That's your business. That's between you and your hot pocket and his willy. Like, you know what I'm saying? If the feeling take you, like, go ahead and do it, because I would do it if the feeling take me and that's what I wanted to do. So, we was in the car and we was saying our bye and stuff like that. And I didn't feel the vibe of like, oh, give me a kiss. So I wasn't about to push, oh, give me a kiss. But I mean, the vibe wasn't there, so do you know what I'm saying? Like, it really didn't bother me. But I didn't even think, oh, because the vibe's not there. I just think everyone's different. Whatever. So said bye or whatever, and then he was just like, yeah, I'll call you. And I was like, yeah, let me know when you get home. Because he lived apparently quite a way away from me. I don't know the map of Canada, wherever he said he lived. I don't know. So I was just like, okay, cool. And so now I got upstairs and I'm like, this is like a really good time or whatever. So then the lady that I was staying with, she stayed up and I was just like, oh yeah, like, you know, you didn't, I wouldn't have needed you to come and get me anyway because it was like a good time. And she was like, oh yeah, I hope it like went really nice for you and stuff like that. And she was like, oh, I saw him and I took down his license plate number. Miss Helen's a ride or die. She took down his license plate number in case anything popped off. She knew what he was driving and stuff like that. So anyway, automatically ring up my bestie / cousin. And I'm just like, yeah, so girl, this is how it went. And I'm giving her the play-by-play of the day. And I was just like, it was really nice, and he was really cute, and and everything. And when me and Dell get to talking, the time just skirts away. I tell you, it just runs away. So then by the time I look, it was kind of like 1:30, maybe going on 2. It was late, and I didn't get no message. I didn't get no phone call. So I'm thinking, raw, like my man didn't even call to say like, yeah, like I got home or whatever. I messaged him and I was just like, are you okay? Like, did you get home good? And then he sends me back a message and said, I got into a car accident. I'll speak to you later. So now my heart is all like, what? Like, how did you get into a car accident? So I was like, D, I'll call you back. And then I hung up the phone. So I called him and he answered the phone. I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? Like, really concerned because I was genuinely concerned. I was like, what's wrong? What happened? And then he was just like, yeah, like, I'm just waiting for this guy to give me his information and stuff and let me call you back. I was like, cool. So I've now stayed up. I'm just like, crap, like, is he okay? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, just genuine concern about what's happened. This brother didn't call back until like maybe 4 something in the morning. So I'm thinking, shit, like what happened? So he called back and he was just like, yeah, I'm fine. Just letting you know that I just got home and stuff like that. So I'll speak to you later. And I wasn't going to push because, he just obviously went through something and he didn't want to talk about it. So cool. So I was just like, yeah, just make sure you call me tomorrow. So he doesn't call me the next day. But again, I'm just like, oh, maybe he's like kind of upset about the situation. So let me just leave him alone. So now I think maybe 2 days go past, and then I said, you know what, I'm just going to call him because, like, what's going on? So I called him, I was just like, are you okay, or whatever, and he was just like, yeah, I'm fine, and he's real, like, what's the word, like, real, there's, like, attitude in his voice towards me, and I'm like, what did I do? Like, I didn't do anything, I'm just calling to find out if you're alright. I'm like, are you okay, like, do you know what I'm saying? And then this fool, you realize how he's a fool now. He went from being cute to now being a fool. So this fool gonna say to me, yeah, like I'm fine, like my car has just been written off. Like I've spoken to the insurance people and they said that my car can't be salvaged and stuff like that. I really didn't want to have to like, I can't afford to lose my car, which I get. I 100% get. Like, Toronto is a place where they only got 2 trains, can I just say? Like, they got 2 free lines, yeah? And after that, like, it would actually be beneficial if you drive. It's nothing like London where you can actually make it on public transport all the time. And apparently because of how far he lives, I don't know. So I completely get him being annoyed and upset about the fact that his car's been written off and now he does not have a car. But then he went on to say, like, he was just like, I wouldn't have been in this accident if I didn't have to go all the way over to Scarborough. That's where I was living. If I didn't have to go all the way over to Scarborough. And I'm like, okay, but you invited me out. You said you wanted to pick me up. Like, I didn't say, like, come and get me and you have to come get me. And do you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, oh, okay. So the first time he said it, I kind of just let it brush off because, people are upset. So I said, okay. And I was just like, yeah, I know, I'm so sorry this happened to you. He just like, yeah, that's why I don't normally go over to that area. Like, I don't really mess with nobody from that area and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, I mean, you do know it's not my fault. Like, I don't know what else to say other than I can just apologize for the situation that you were put in. So I'm like, but what happened anyway? Like, whose fault was it? Was it your fault? Was it his fault? Like, I'm just trying to understand. And then he was just like, oh yeah, he was driving. He was like, there was nobody else on the road. And he was like on some side road or some like driveway, I guess, or I don't know what it was. The person must have was backing out and hit the side of his car, but it was like really so it's kind of crunch, and he was basically trying to explain the thing, and so I was just like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, that's deep. Like, I'm so like, sorry that this happened and stuff again, like just expressing my sympathy for what happened. And then he was just like, yeah, like, I'm just saying, like, if I didn't go over there And so then I was just like, okay, are you blaming me? He's like, no, I'm not blaming you, but I'm just saying that if I didn't go over that side, I wouldn't have ended up in an accident. And I'm just like, yeah, but you could have ended up in an accident in any which way. Like, maybe it'd be near your house. Like, if it was going to happen, it was actually going to happen. Like, who are we to stop it? Like, we wasn't going to stop whatever was going to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? And I was like, and surely if you could have foreseen that the accident was going to happen, you would have avoided that route or not. Like, do you know, it just didn't make sense. And he was just like, no, like, and then his kind of tone just kind of changed. So I'm like, okay, I feel like you're basically saying that it's my fault, and it's really not, because I'm not the one that asked me out. Like, you asked me out and stuff like that, and it's unfortunate that you did get into it, but what are we gonna do? Do you know what I'm saying? What are we gonna do? And he was just like, yeah, well, you know, I'm just upset, like, because now, like, where am I gonna get money from to buy a car? And he was like, guys, he was so, like, he started getting nasty. Like, his attitude just stank. And I was just like, wow, okay. So then now, we hung up from that phone call. And I remember telling Dee, I'm like, nah, I feel like this fool thinks it's my fault. Like, he thinks it's my fault that he got into an accident. Like, I mean, do you know who I am? Like, obviously, you come to see me, right? But it's unfortunate that your car got written off. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so, he messaged the next day, and he was just like, I'm so sorry if you felt like I was, you know, taking out my anger towards you. It's just that I was not happy about the situation. I was just like, yeah, I understand, and stuff like that. But then later on, further conversations, he just kept, like, you know, going on about it, and it really did feel like he was blaming me. So after about, like, a couple of days, and then he wasn't messaging me first after a while. I was the one to be like, hey, how you doing? How you right? And stuff like that. And I said, you know what? This brother, he's crazy, and I don't have time for it, because how can you blame me for something like that? Is it my fault? But anyway, so that was the first date, and I just thought, is this what I have to look forward to in Canada? Crazy people up and down the place. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. So I just stopped talking to him, and I just left it alone. I was just like, let somebody else deal with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Let somebody else deal with him, thinking that whatever happened, like, when he goes out with them, so if anything unfortunate happens when he goes out with them, then it's their fault. If he walked on the road when he was walking back, like, from his house or whatever, he saw a $50 bill on the floor, was he gonna be like, oh my god, because I went out with Dee, that's what? Shut up, stupid. Anyway, whatever, man. That was the first date, and that wasn't even the craziest. That wasn't even the craziest that I've had to deal with in Canada and in dating in general. So, but anyway, that's the end of that story time. So it's safe to say that nothing progressed, that nothing happened with me and that guy. No kiss, no jookins, no nothing. The most I got was a hug. I mean, at least he smelled good, so. But anyway, thank you for watching my video, and please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Share with your friends, share with your enemies, share with everybody. You know what I mean? So yeah, and also don't forget to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is at DeeBacchanalist. It's gonna be down in the description box, and also my art Instagram at lookat.d.art. And yeah, I don't really post much on my art Instagram, but I'm gonna change that pretty soon. Like, I have couple requests to draw a couple stuff, so I'll put that on there. But yeah, but follow me on Instagram. That's where all my craziness goes down and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, thank you again for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Later.